The Wonderful 101 has failed to chart in its first week in Japan. It has quite clearly bombed. I believe it's been out for a while everywhere. I believe it's out on digitally on Switch. I didn't buy it. I don't know anyone who bought it. I don't know anyone who's playing this game. No one cares, essentially. The game is out, and less people are talking about it now than they were during the Kickstarter. Now, this is really interesting to me because it literally meant more to people that this game was on Kickstarter than it did to like actually come out. Like, literally no one is talking about this game right now. It is completely ignored. Like, it just came out, that's it. Despite raising like $1 million that they didn't need for a port. Like, it is downright disgusting to see them to see this happen, and I really wanted to speculate as to why, and I do think I suspect I do know why, and I think this goes into why the Kickstarter was enabled and supported by gamers to begin with. They really, really wanted Nintendo games to go multi-plat. It really had nothing to do with the Wonderful 101 itself, but the idea of like supporting this Kickstarter, enabling these developers to self-publish and publish this game on other platforms, that might have been their idea of trying to get these games, to get good games off of Nintendo hardware. That was their mindset. I noticed that most people didn't really talk about the how easy it would have been, right, to just work with Nintendo, right, and just port the game on Switch with minimal cost to the company, right? But instead, they turned it into this situation where they just asked you for money for nothing. Like, literally all that happened was that the game just got ported to other consoles. An already existing game got ported to new consoles. This is definitely one of the shittiest things I think I've seen a developer do to Nintendo in the Switch years. Like, Platinum literally backstabbed Nintendo for no reason at all. Like, they literally just ported to other consoles because they were under the delusion that the game would do better under real platforms, and of course it didn't. Like, of course it bombed. You know what I mean? And it's not going to have the cult. It's not going to become a cult classic like it did on non-Nintendo consoles to boot. Like, they literally wasted their partnership with Nintendo and the trust of their fans in order to port a game to another platform. And of course, like, the PlayStation fans are gonna like that. The PC fans are gonna like that. Like, I know Colin Moriarty seriously thought that like this meant that Bayonetta 2 and 3 would be coming to PS4 as well. But I think they've kind of dismissed that at this point. The Platinum has denied that. I don't think Nintendo will allow that, considering those games actually sell. There's no reason to do that. But there was no reason to do that to allow that to happen with Wonderful 101. Either. Like, you should have just said no, keep it on Nintendo, fuck you. Fuck you for even asking, to be honest with you. Like, if I was Nintendo, I would be just like, no. That would, like, probably strain my relationship with Platinum, because they here's what Platinum should have done years ago. Let yourself be acquired by Nintendo. That's it. Instead, what we got is this, we're talking about mobile games, we're doing Kickstarters, we're partnering with Chinese, we're partnering with the Chinese, with Tencent. Let yourself be acquired by Nintendo. Like, are you really that adamantly obsessed with supporting every platform in existence that like, you can't bear the thought of like being Nintendo exclusive? Like, really? No. Stop. You need to like just face reality. Every other gaming platform is unviable, okay? There is literally no reason to own an Xbox, a PS4, or a PC. You should be primarily developing on Nintendo consoles. Stop trying to like waste time and resources developing for all these unpractical pieces of hardware, just develop for a Switch and just become successful on the Nintendo console. You don't need the PlayStation. You don't need Xbox. You don't need PC. Like, stop with this mindset that, like, more consoles is better for you, because it isn't. Like, it's not good for anyone, in spite of what, like, these other non-Nintendo companies want you to think in order to stay relevant. Like, what have any of these companies contributed to gaming at all? Like, next to nothing. Like, literally nothing. Like, nothing but holding back the industry, to be completely honest with you. Like, it's absurd. It really is ridiculous. And I'm glad to see, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to see The Wonderful 101 has bombed on PS4. I knew it was going to happen. I knew none of these Kickstarter backers were going to buy the game. I knew regular consumers weren't going to buy the game. I knew it was going to be another disaster. And it was just going to do nothing but sort of discredit Platinum Games in the eyes of, like, the real fans. But this is, like, one of those instances. I am willing to, like, cut ties with a company I liked and respected over this bullshit. Like, I don't expect I will be supporting Platinum Games 10 years from now when they start going full mobile and start being, like, going full Chinese. Like, they're basically gone. Like, this is they literally have nothing coming out. I feel like nothing I'm aware of. Bayonetta 3 is the only thing they haven't talked about they have coming out, and that's Nintendo exclusive. Like, you just know they're seething about that. They're not what they were. Like, you know what I mean? Like, 7 years ago with The Wonderful 101, 10 years ago with the original Bayonetta, like, they were pumping out all this creative shit. But now it feels like they're basically a shell of their former selves. Like, they really are. Like, this self-publishing thing, it's not going to work. Like, they never should have tried that. Like, they should have just stuck with Nintendo, kept making good games, kept working with them, kept making new IPs, new sequels to existing games, making Star Fox Zero sequels, like, literally anything other than selling out to the Chinese and trying to go to Kickstarter for a port. Like, they completely dropped the ball with this. Like, all they needed to do, like, literally all they needed to do, like, put The Wonderful 101 and package it in with Astral Chain. Like, give like, the first day one copy of buyers of Astral Chain, like, a free download code for The Wonderful 101. Let more people play it, and then let it become even more of a cult classic. Like, have it be a fun bonus game you give away for free. Like, don't exploit it. Don't exploit the fans. You know what I mean? Like there were so many other better ways they could have gone about this, but they literally did the worst possible thing, like, straight up scamming the fans out of money that should have gone into the purchase of a game rather than that of Kickstarter.